Happy San Juan Day, everybody! My name is Tiffany Owen, and I am the Instructional Coordinator for Lincoln and Fort Stanton Historic Sites. This activity is designed to accompany the virtual summer camp lesson, Fire and Water, celebrating San Juan Day in Lincoln County, which can be found at our website, www.NewMexicoHistoricSites.org. There, you can also find a printed version of the instructions in this tissue paper flower video. Just click on the Summer Camp tab and then select Wild West Adventures. I'm so glad that you could join me today to learn how to make Mexican tissue paper flowers. The tradition of making and decorating with paper flowers goes back to the 16th century when the Manila galleons came to Mexico with a thin colored paper called papel chino, which means Chinese paper. Today, we often use this thin paper when we are giving gifts, but we call it tissue paper. The Mexican people began making flowers from this tissue paper to decorate churches for special occasions when natural flowers were not available. In the town where I live, historic Lincoln, New Mexico, we make and use tissue paper flowers for several of our annual events, especially for San Juan Day and Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. It's amazing how this easy and inexpensive craft brings so much life, color, and festiveness to our little town. Once you've learned how to make these fun decorations, you can really let your imagination go wild. Just look at all the fun things you can create. Before you make your flowers, I hope that you will watch the video and learn about the history of San Juan Day and how it has been celebrated in my town of Lincoln as well as all over the world. All right, let's get this party started. To make your flowers, you're only going to need 3 things: tissue paper, scissors, and pipe cleaners. So, let's talk color. Hopefully you watched the video on the history of San Juan or St. John's Day. Do you remember the 2 important traditional symbols that are incorporated into almost every midsummer celebration around the world? That's right, fire and water. So let's talk color. Did you know that colors have temperature? So if you had to guess, what colors do you think we might call cool colors? Think oceans, ponds, and refreshing rivers. Yes. Greens, blues, and purples are referred to as cool colors. I bet you can guess what colors we might refer to as warm colors too. Think sunrises, sunsets, and fire. That's right. Reds, oranges, and yellows are the warm colors. The first thing you're going to want to do when you begin making your flower is to pick your colors. You may choose to make a warm color flower, a cool color flower, or you might choose to make a monochromatic flower of your favorite color. Monochromatic means different shades of the same color. You might also decide to make a realistic looking flower with a yellow center, pink petals, and green leaves on the bottom. Your options are limitless. You can also make your flowers in different sizes. The tissue paper that I bought comes in sheets that are 20 inches by 20 inches. If you use the full 20 by 20 sheet, your flowers will be pretty big, which is okay, but if you cut your sheets in half, your flowers will be more manageable and you'll be able to make more of them. So I began by selecting 3 colors and then I cut those sheets in half. This makes my pieces 10 inches by 20 inches. You may also want to fold your sheets before you cut them, which will give you a guideline to follow as you cut. Okay, now this is one of the most important things I need to tell you, so listen close. Life will be so much easier for you if you start with your tissue paper neatly lined up. Try to get the edges as close to matching as you can. Also, you'll want to think about which color you want in the center of your flower. That is the color that should be on top of your stack. The color on the bottom will be the back of your flower. Once your pieces are stacked and lined up neatly, your next step is to fold them accordion style, just like you do when you're making a paper fan. Starting from the shorter end of your stack of tissue paper, fold all 3 pieces about 1/2 inch. Then you will flip the stack of papers over and fold a 1/2 inch in the other direction. Continue folding and flipping and folding and flipping until you reach the end of your tissue paper. When you finish, you will be holding a 1/2 inch strip. But don't let go of your accordion fold or it will unravel. Next, take your pipe cleaner and fold it in half at the center of your folded tissue paper. Once it is wrapped around the middle, twist the 2 ends to hold the folded paper in place. Now you can open up your folded tissue paper like a butterfly. Hold the twisted part of the pipe cleaner with one hand and then use your other hand to carefully separate the top layer of tissue paper and pull it toward the center. Work all the way around your folded paper until you have lifted the entire first layer of tissue paper to stand upright. Then you will repeat this peel and lift motion with the next layer of tissue paper and the next until you have adequately fluffed your flower. Ta-da! Congratulations! You are now an official flower fluffer. You can use the pipe cleaner to non-destructively attach your flower to all kinds of things. Once you have mastered the art of flower fluffing, you can try fancy tricks like cutting the end of your flowers after the fold. This will give you different petal effects. You can also try making mini flowers, such as the ones that we used to decorate Miss Munchkin for San Juan Day a few years ago. To make smaller flowers, cut your tissue paper into sections of thirds instead of cutting it in half. Your tissue paper will be smaller, but the process of making the flower is exactly the same. You will probably want to cut your pipe cleaner in half too, so that your stem isn't too long. When you're fluffing the smaller flowers, you'll need to be very careful. It's a little trickier to pull the petals without ripping them when you're working with a smaller flower. And that's all there is to it. I hope that you enjoyed learning about the tradition of making Mexican tissue paper flowers. To get written instructions for this activity, just go to our website, www.newmexicohistoricsites.org, and click on the Virtual Camp tab. Then click on Wild West Adventures. Join us for more virtual summer camp activities coming soon to a computer near you. Thanks for watching.